Do you find it hard to show up for yourself? In this video, I'm going to share with you all the steps you need to take to start keeping the commitments you make to yourself. Alright, now let's get into step number 1. Figure out what's stopping you from showing up for yourself. If you find it hard to show up for yourself, there's usually a deeper reason to not keep the commitments you make to yourself. So let's find out what's really going on. Here's some journaling questions you can ask yourself. 1. Who or what do I prioritize over myself? It could be your partner, your job, etc. 2. How do I show up for them? What do you do to make sure I feel happy or things get done? 3. What will happen if I don't put them first? Describe what consequences you might have to face. 4. In what ways am I being flaky to myself right now? How are you currently not showing up for yourself? 5. What is one small step I can take to show up for myself today? Now I want you to finish these sentences. Showing up for yourself means blank. When I don't show up for myself, I feel blank. If I show up for myself, it will impact blank in a blank way. Sometimes not showing up for yourself is directly linked to not being aware of your shadow self. I've already created a video on this topic, but to give it a gist of it, according to Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst Carl Jung, the shadow self is an archetype that forms part of the unconscious mind and is composed of repressed ideas, instincts, impulses, weaknesses, desires, and fears. In other words, your shadow self is the dark part of yourself that you don't really want to associate yourself with. When you have trouble showing up for yourself, this could be a sign of associating self-love with being egotistical, self-centered, or like you don't have the right to take care of yourself. For you, showing up for yourself might mean that you're a bad partner, mother, or daughter. You might have a story in your mind that sacrificing yourself for the people you love is somehow noble, or it makes you a good person. I've created a free cheat sheet that will help you get to know your shadow self and figure out what's really stopping you from showing up for yourself. If you want to download it, just click the link in the description box below or head over to coachsimona.com/shadow. Now let's move on to step number 2 on how to show up for yourself, which is to forgive yourself. This is an interesting one. No matter what area of your life you're struggling with the most, when it comes to showing up for yourself, it's important to stop being so hard on yourself for being flaky in the past. For example, if you've been wanting to change your diet or exercise more, but you haven't been consistent with your routine, you might be having thoughts like, ugh, I'm such a failure, or here we go again, I'm right back where I started. If you keep beating yourself up for the past version of you who didn't have the knowledge or the self-awareness that the present you has, you're gonna create a negative thinking loop that keeps reinforcing the same emotions and the same behaviors. So if you want to change your behavior in the future, you need to start by forgiving yourself for not showing up in the past. You don't have to keep doing this to yourself. You can forgive yourself and give yourself some grace. The truth is that we're all doing the best that we can from the current state of consciousness that we're in. Meaning, you did the best that you could at the time. So there is no point in beating yourself up anymore. Instead of listening to the inner critic, you can forgive yourself by accepting that the past is gone and you can't change it. You're free to rewrite your story. It's up to you whether you decide to dwell on the past or get off the floor where you've been kicking yourself for years and finally show up for yourself. Which actually brings me to the next step, which is to learn how to take proper care of yourself. If you've been flaky when it comes to showing up for yourself, that is a clear sign that you've been slacking on self-care in one or more areas of your life. So how can you start taking better care of yourself? I have 3 simple tips for you. First, you're gonna ask yourself daily, what do I need right now? Taking care of your physical and emotional needs is the only way to properly show up for yourself. Instead of relying on others to fulfill your needs, you can learn to meet them yourself. All you need to do is start becoming aware of your needs throughout the day by asking yourself this simple question: what do I need right now? And then find a healthy and constructive way to meet that need. The next thing I want you to do is keep the promises you make to yourself. If you often abandon your plans and the promises you make to yourself just to please someone else, you're showing yourself that you cannot be trusted, which in turn will lead to even more self-doubt. So how can you show up when it comes to the commitments you make to yourself? By keeping them. I know it sounds like a no-brainer. There's a really simple solution to stop being flaky when it comes to the commitments you make to yourself. And that is to start small. Just like most of us keep our commitments to shower, eat, sleep, and brush our teeth, you're gonna want to pick something easy. For example, let's say you've been wanting to start that book that you've been eyeing on your bookshelf for months, but you're too busy with your partner, there's so much to do at work, and then all the chores around the house, right? You can always find excuses not to do something. So your task here is to keep that commitment. What you can do, for example, is schedule 10 minutes in your calendar for reading. Just 10. I want you to start small. It's about getting used to being there for yourself when you say you will. And the last thing I'm going to recommend when it comes to taking better care of yourself is to practice self-compassion. Showing up for yourself means being compassionate, kind, and loving towards yourself, no matter what. And especially if you're feeling down or you're being too hard on yourself. Those are the moments that you're gonna need yourself the most. I want you to be the person that you would want someone else to be for you. Now let's go back to self-compassion. What is the first thing you can do? Sit with your feelings, no matter how bad they are, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how every fiber of your being wants to escape from the situation that you're in. Stay still. Let them come to the surface. All the sadness, all the anger, all the pain. Let out whatever it is that you're feeling. You have every right to feel this way. It's okay. You're here. You have yourself. You're not gonna go away this time. This time you will stay and learn to love yourself unconditionally. That's why I created the Self-Love Toolkit. I want to help you show up for yourself, not just today, after feeling a sudden burst of inspiration to do something, but I want you to do it consistently over time so that you can keep the commitments you make to yourself. If you want to learn more, head over to www.theselflovetoolkit.com. Now, when it comes to not showing up for yourself, that often has something to do with not trusting yourself. So if you want to discover the ultimate step-by-step guide of building self-trust, make sure to watch this video next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in that video.